Get on your knees. That's where your kind belongs. A black woman on a Georgia highway. A white deputy standing over her. You people never learn. Think you can drive through my county like you own it? He kicks the back of her knee. She falls. Gravel cuts her skin. Blood seeps through her stockings. Stay down, girl. Black folks like you need to remember your place. A car slows. Someone records, laughs, keeps driving. Another car, another phone, another spectator. No one helps. She kneels alone. A black woman in a torn dress. A white man with a badge pressing her into the dirt. Some things never change, or so he thinks. Because in exactly 90 seconds, this deputy will learn something about the woman bleeding at his feet. 3 words will destroy his 11-year career. 3 words will expose an entire system. 3 words are coming. And he has no idea. Kendra Turner steps out of Riverside Community Center at 8:38 p.m. The applause still echoes behind her. 300 people gave her a standing ovation. She spoke about community trust, about police reform, about the badge being a privilege, not a weapon. She is 52 years old, Attorney General of the state of Georgia, the highest law enforcement officer in the state, the first black woman to hold the position. Tonight, she's just tired. 14 hours since she left home. 3rd public event this week. 4th speech in 2 days. Her feet ache in heels she regrets wearing. Her voice is hoarse from talking. Her shoulders carry a weight that never fully lifts. She crosses the parking lot alone. No security detail tonight. Her choice. I'm driving home, not walking into a courtroom, she told her staff. I'll be fine. Her car waits under a flickering streetlight. A 2019 Honda Accord. Dark gray, nothing fancy. The paint is starting to fade near the back bumper. There's a small dent on the passenger door from a grocery cart 2 years ago. She could afford better. Much better. The AG salary is comfortable, but she chooses not to upgrade. The job isn't about the perks, she told her daughter once. It's about the work. The car gets me from point A to point B. That's enough. Kendra unlocks the door, slides into the driver's seat. The leather is warm from sitting in the sun all day. She kicks off her heels, puts on the flats she keeps under the passenger seat. An old habit, practical, windows down, engine on. The air conditioning takes too long to cool down, so she prefers the night air anyway. Her phone buzzes in her purse. Darlene, her daughter, 24 years old, graduate student at Georgia State. The only good thing to come out of a marriage that ended 12 years ago. Hey, Mom, still on for dinner tomorrow? Kendra smiles. The tension in her shoulders eases slightly. Tomorrow. I promise. Rain check tonight. Long day. You always say that. Darlene's voice carries affectionate exasperation. You work too much. I work exactly as much as needed, and I always keep my promises, eventually. Darlene laughs. Warmth crosses the phone line. Mother and daughter. Survivors of the same storm. Drive safe, Mom. Text me when you're home. I will, baby. I love you. Love you too. She hangs up, places the phone in the cup holder, adjusts her rearview mirror. Habit. Her taillights glow red in the reflection. Both working. Perfect. She checks every time. Every single time. Her father taught her this, James Turner, high school principal for 31 years. Careful man. Good man. He died in 2015, but his voice still lives in her head. Some lessons never fade. Always check your mirrors before you drive. Always know what's behind you. Always be prepared for what's coming. She didn't understand why he was so serious when she was 16. She understands now. Every black parent in Georgia understands. In America. The talk, the rules, the survival guide that white families never have to teach. Tucked in the sun visor is a photograph. Her father. Gray suit, warm eyes, wide smile. Taken at her law school graduation, 1998. He was so proud that day. Cried during her speech. Denied it afterward. She keeps the photo there so she sees him every morning when she flips down the visor. Every night when she drives home. Kendra pulls out of the parking lot, turns onto the main road, heads toward Highway 12. This is her favorite stretch. Pine trees on both sides. No billboards, no strip malls, no fast food chains. Just Georgia the way it used to be, the way it should be. The windows are down. Warm air rushes through. It smells like pine and red clay and summer rain that hasn't fallen yet. Cicadas sing their ancient song. Frogs answer from distant ponds. She hums, a gospel song her mother used to sing. Precious Lord, take my hand. She doesn't remember all the words, just the melody, just the feeling. Her mother's voice, her grandmother's voice. Generations of women humming the same song. The dashboard clock reads 8:44 p.m. 6 minutes of peace. 6 minutes of being nobody special, just a woman driving home. She doesn't know what's coming. Doesn't know that in 6 minutes, she'll be on her knees on the side of this road. Doesn't know that in 8 minutes, a man's 11-year career will end because of 3 words she speaks. Doesn't know that this night will change Georgia. The pine trees blur past. The cicadas sing. The road ahead is dark and empty. And then, blue lights appear in her rearview mirror. Kendra sees the lights, blue and red, spinning in her mirror, cutting through the darkness like accusations. She sighs, deep, tired. Not tonight. Her hands move automatically. Signal right. Ease off the gas. Pull onto the shoulder. Gravel crunches under her tires. She finds a wide spot. Stops. Puts the car in park. Hands on the steering wheel. 10 and 2. Visible. Palms open. Fingers spread. This is what her father taught her. This is what black parents teach their children in Georgia, in America. How to survive a traffic stop. How to come home alive. Don't make sudden movements. Don't reach for anything without announcing it. Don't argue. Don't raise your voice. Don't give them a reason. Any reason. She waits. The cruiser stops 15 feet behind her. Close enough to read her plate. Far enough to react. Textbook positioning. Headlights flood her car with harsh white light. She can't see anything in her mirrors except glare. The driver's door opens. Boots on gravel. Heavy steps. Confident. Slow. Deputy Russell Grady approaches. He is 38 years old. 11 years with Harlan County Sheriff's Department. Broad shoulders. Buzz cut. Square jaw. The kind of man who walks like he owns every room he enters, every road he patrols, every person he stops. His flashlight hits her face, blinding. She squints but doesn't raise her hand to block it. That would be a sudden movement. License and registration. No good evening. No ma'am. No explanation. Just the demand. Flat, bored, like she's the 100th stop tonight and he's tired of being polite. Of course, Deputy. Her voice is calm, measured, professional. I'm reaching for my purse now. It's on the passenger seat. She moves slowly, narrates every motion. Opening my purse, taking out my wallet, removing my license. This is the dance. This is survival. Announce. Move slow. Keep hands visible. Don't startle. Don't provoke. She hands over her license and registration. He takes them without looking at her face. Just the documents, like she's not a person, like she's paperwork. He walks back toward his cruiser. His boots crunch on gravel with each step. His radio crackles. His voice carries in the humid air, clear enough to hear every word. Dispatch, traffic stop, Highway 12, mile marker 16. Black female, late model sedan, Georgia plates. Possible broken taillight. Kendra's jaw tightens. The taillight is not broken. She checked it an hour ago. She checks it every time. every single time. Her father's voice, "Always know what's behind you." It's a lie. He's lying into his radio, creating a paper trail, justifying a stop that has no justification. She knows what this is. She's known since the lights appeared, since he walked up without greeting, since he demanded instead of asked. She's been black in America for 52 years. She knows. She waits. The cicadas keep singing. Indifferent. The blue lights keep spinning. Patient. Minutes pass like hours. Grady returns. His expression has changed. Harder now. Something calculated behind his eyes. "Ma'am, step out of the vehicle." The way he says ma'am, it isn't respect. It's mockery. It's the word certain Southern men use when they mean the opposite, when they want you to know you're nothing to them. "May I ask what this is about, Deputy?" "Step out of the vehicle, now." She doesn't argue. Argument escalates. She knows this. She opens the door slowly, steps out. The gravel is sharp under her thin flats. The air is thick with humidity. Her dress wasn't made for this. Her dignity wasn't made for this. Hands on the hood. Spread your feet. "Deputy, Hands on the hood." She complies. The metal is hot from the engine. She feels it through her palms. Her fingers spread against the gray paint. She stares at the hood. At nothing. He takes his time. Walks around her car. Shines his flashlight through every window. Opens her back door without asking. Looks inside. Finds nothing. Because there is nothing to find. A car passes on the highway. Slows down. The driver looks. A face in the darkness. Curious. Concerned. But the car keeps going. Another car. Same thing. Curious faces. No action. Grady returns. Stands too close. She can smell his cologne. Something cheap and aggressive. She can hear his breathing. Slow. Satisfied. "You know," he says, "you people always make this harder than it needs to be." You people. Kendra's fingers press harder against the hot metal. She doesn't respond. She gives him nothing. A third car approaches. This one slows more than the others. This one stops. But Grady isn't done. "We're going to do this my way tonight." His hand rests on his holster. "Get on your knees." The words hang in the humid air. For a moment, nothing moves. Even the cicadas seem to pause. On your knees. Now. Hands behind your head. Grady's hand tightens on his holster. Still holstered. But the grip is there. The threat is real. The message is clear. Kendra doesn't move. Not yet. Her mind races through options, through statistics, through case files she's read, through families she's represented, through funerals she's attended. I said now. She knows what happens on dark highways in rural Georgia. She's seen the body camera footage that always seems to malfunction at crucial moments. She's heard the excuses. He reached for something. She made a sudden move. I feared for my life. She knows the math. Compliance doesn't guarantee survival, but resistance almost guarantees escalation. Compliance is a gamble, a prayer, a hope that this one is different, that this one will be satisfied with humiliation instead of violence. She starts to lower herself, slowly, carefully, too slow for him. Grady grabs her arm. His fingers dig into her bicep, hard, bruising. He spins her around like she weighs nothing. His boot connects with the back of her knee. She drops, hard. Her knees hit gravel. Sharp stones bite through her stockings, tear the fabric, puncture skin. Pain shoots up her legs like electricity. She doesn't make a sound. Some instinct tells her not to give him that satisfaction, not to let him hear her pain, not to let him win that much. Grady stands over her. His shadow falls across her back. His breathing is audible now, excited. That's right. Stay down, girl. Girl. She is 52 years old. She graduated top of her class at Emory Law School. She has argued before the Georgia Supreme Court 7 times. She has won 6 of those cases. She has put murderers and rapists and corrupt politicians in prison. She has protected victims that no one else would protect. And this man with his cheap cologne and his tight grip and his fabricated traffic stop, this man calls her girl. Hands behind your head, don't move. She complies. Her fingers interlace behind her skull. She stares at the ground. Gravel, broken glass, an old cigarette butt, a crushed beer can. This is what she sees. This is where she kneels. The Attorney General of Georgia, kneeling in roadside trash. Grady circles her, slow, deliberate. His boots crunch with each step. The sound of authority, the sound of power. He enjoys this. She can hear it in his breathing, see it in his shadow. Where are you really coming from tonight? And don't give me that community center bullshit. Riverside Community Center. I gave a speech on police reform. He laughs, not a chuckle, a real laugh, like she told a joke. Police reform. That's rich. You one of them activists? One of those Black Lives Matter types? Coming down here to stir up trouble? She says nothing. You know, I've been doing this job for 11 years. 11 years. And your kind, you always think you're special. Think the rules don't apply to you. Think you can talk your way out of anything. His boot appears in her peripheral vision, inches from her face, close enough to smell the leather, the polish. But out here? On my highway? You're not special. You're just another stop. Another statistic. Another lesson that needs teaching. The third car that pulled over, a man exits. White. Middle-aged. Church softball jersey. The name First Baptist visible on the back. He holds up his phone. The camera light is on. Recording. Dale Hutchins, 46 years old, deacon at First Baptist Church, father of 3. He was driving home from practice when he saw the lights, when he saw the woman on her knees. He's recorded situations like this before, sent them to local news, watched nothing happen. But he keeps recording anyway, because someday something might. 90 seconds of footage that will change everything. He doesn't know that yet. This isn't the first time I've seen this, he mutters. Quiet, but not quiet enough. Grady's head snaps toward him. What did you say? Nothing, officer. Deputy. It's deputy. And I told you to move along. I'll wait. Just making sure everyone gets home safe tonight. Grady's frustration boils over. His hand trembles on his holster. He wants to do something, wants to assert control. But the phone is watching. The phone is always watching these days. He turns back to Kendra, leans down. His face is close to hers. She can feel his breath on her cheek. You've been very quiet. Got nothing to say for yourself? 2 miles away, shift supervisor Tom Weston hears the radio traffic. Traffic stop, Highway 12, black female. Something about the call bothers him. 20 years on the force. He knows when something feels wrong. Dispatch crackles. Supervisor Weston, running plates on that Highway 12 stop. Vehicle registered to... Hold on. Checking now. Weston doesn't wait for confirmation. Something in his gut says move. He accelerates. Blue lights on. Sirens off. Back on Highway 12, Kendra Turner kneels in the gravel. Her knees bleed. Her stockings are ruined. Her dress is dirty. A man with a badge stands over her, waiting for her to break. She doesn't break. Instead, she looks up. For the first time since the stop began, she meets his eyes directly. Her voice is calm, unhurried, almost gentle, like a teacher about to correct a student's fundamental misunderstanding. "Deputy, I need you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say." Grady smirks. "Oh yeah? Got some more police reform wisdom for me?" "No." She holds his gaze, steady, unblinking. "What I'm about to say is going to change your life." Headlights appear in the distance. Another cruiser, coming fast. Headlights cut through the darkness like a blade. A second cruiser pulls up. Fast. Urgent. Tom Weston, shift supervisor. 20 years on the force. He exits his vehicle before it fully stops. His door hangs open behind him. He sees the scene. Woman on her knees in the gravel. Grady standing over her. Civilian with phone, still recording. Blue lights washing everything in alternating color. Dispatch crackles in his earpiece. "Supervisor Weston, plates confirmed. Vehicle registered to..." He doesn't need dispatch to finish. He recognizes her face. He saw her speak at the law enforcement gala 3 months ago. 500 officers in that room. She stood at the podium in a blue suit. She talked about accountability, about trust, about the badge being a privilege, not a shield. He remembers thinking, this is what leadership looks like. She's the Attorney General of Georgia, and she's on her knees on Highway 12 with blood seeping through her stockings. Kendra sees Weston approaching. She sees his face change. The moment recognition hits. The moment everything shifts. She knows backup has arrived. Not backup for Grady, backup for her. She looks up at Grady one final time. Her voice is steady, unhurried, with the kind of authority that doesn't need volume. The kind of power that doesn't need threats. 3 words. "I'm the AG." Grady's face goes through stages. Confusion first, then disbelief, then something that might be amusement. Like she's desperate. Like she's lying to save herself. He laughs. "Yeah, right. And I'm the governor." Weston's voice comes from behind him. Cold, certain, final. "She's not lying." Grady spins around, sees Weston's face, white as the moon. "That's Kendra Turner, State Attorney General. I saw her speak 3 months ago, at the gala. You were there too, Grady. You should remember." That's not..." Grady's voice fails. His mouth opens, closes, opens again. No words come. Weston's radio crackles. Dispatch confirms what he already knows. "Kendra Turner, Georgia Attorney General, registered owner of the vehicle." The witness with the phone, Dale Hutchins, whispers, "Oh my God." His hand shakes slightly, but he keeps recording. Grady's face drains of color, like someone opened a valve and let all the blood out. His hand falls from his holster. His shoulders slump. 11 years, every commendation on his wall, every good job from supervisors, every time the union saved him from complaints, every time the department looked the other way. Gone. Weston doesn't hesitate, doesn't pause, doesn't give Grady time to think or explain or justify. "Deputy Grady, badge. Now." "Tom, wait. I can explain. I didn't know who she was. I didn't..." "You're terminated. Effective immediately." The word hangs in the air. Terminated. Not suspended. Not administrative leave. Not pending investigation. Terminated. "You can't do that. The union. There's a process. You have to..." "Badge. Gun. Now." Grady's hands shake as he reaches for his badge. His fingers fumble with the clip. A simple motion he's done thousands of times. Now his hands won't cooperate. He unclips the badge. 11 years on his chest. Everything he thought he was. Everything he thought he had. He hands it over. Weston takes it. Holds it like evidence. Which it is. Gun. Grady's holster. His service weapon. The thing that made him powerful. The thing that made people listen. That made them kneel. He unclips it, hands it over, handle first, proper form. Training that kicks in even now. Weston takes the weapon, secures it. He radios dispatch. His voice is formal, clipped, controlled. The voice of a man who knows this moment will be reviewed, analyzed, played in courtrooms and on news broadcasts. Dispatch, Deputy Russell Grady terminated on scene, effective immediately, badge and weapon secured, send backup for transport. Terminated on scene. Weston turns to Kendra. His face carries something between horror and shame. The shame of the uniform, the shame of what it has done. "Ma'am, I am so sorry. Please, let me help you up." She rises slowly, takes her time. There's no rush now. She brushes gravel from her knees. Her stockings are shredded. Her knees are bleeding. Small pieces of stone embedded in skin. Her dress is stained with dirt and something darker. She doesn't rush. She looks at Grady. He stands alone on the highway. No badge, no gun, no authority. Just a man in a uniform that no longer means anything. A man whose entire identity just shattered on the gravel. She speaks, calm, quiet, devastating in its control. "Your body camera recorded everything." Grady flinches like she struck him. His body camera recorded everything. Weston nods once. "That gentleman's phone recorded everything." Dale Hutchins holds up his phone. Still recording. Still capturing. "And I will remember every single word you said to me tonight. Every word. For the rest of my life." She doesn't raise her voice. Doesn't need to. Grady opens his mouth. Nothing comes out. What can you say? What words exist for this moment? Kendra turns to Weston. "I expect a full report on my desk by morning. Every detail, every timestamp, every piece of footage." "Yes, ma'am, absolutely." She walks to her car, gets in, starts the engine. Her taillights glow red, perfectly functional, as they always were, as she pulls back onto Highway 12. Timestamp, 8:51 p.m. Kendra Turner says 3 words. Timestamp, 8:52 p.m. Deputy Russell Grady's career ends. 90 seconds, 3 words. 11 years on the force, over. But Kendra Turner isn't going home. Not yet. Because Deputy Grady didn't become this way by accident. Someone trained him. Someone protected him. Someone saw 23 complaints over 11 years and signed every single dismissal. Grady was a symptom. The disease is still in office. 24 hours later, Dale Hutchins' video has 8 million views. The footage plays on every major network. CNN, MSNBC, Fox, local affiliates from Atlanta to Los Angeles. The algorithm feeds it to millions of phones, millions of screens, millions of eyes. The headline writes itself, "AG forced to kneel by deputy, terminated on scene." Grady's voice plays on loop. "Stay down, girl." Analyzed by pundits, dissected by commentators, shared and reshared until the words become cultural shorthand for everything wrong with American policing. His face is everywhere, too. Badge photo released. Career history published. Every corner of his life exposed under the harsh light of public scrutiny. Russell Grady is officially terminated. Pension revoked. Criminal charges pending. Assault under color of law. Civil rights violation. Filing a false report. The union tries to intervene. Files paperwork. Makes phone calls. They fail. The video is too clear. The victim is too powerful. The moment is too viral. For once, the system cannot protect its own. But Kendra Turner isn't satisfied. 2 days after the stop, her office. Files spread across her desk like evidence at a crime scene. Body camera footage plays on her laptop for the 5th time. Not the viral clip, the full, unedited recording. She listens to Grady's words, writes them down, studies them like case law. "You people always make this harder than it needs to be." Stay down, girl. Your kind always think you're special. These aren't improvised insults. This isn't a man losing control in an unusual situation. This is routine. This is practice. Words said many times before. This wasn't a mistake, she says to her chief of staff, a woman named Patricia who has worked with her for 6 years. This was a script. She starts pulling files. Internal affairs complaints against Harlan County deputies. Traffic stop data cross-referenced by race and outcome. Patterns emerge from the paper. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Attorney General Turner? My name is Miriam Cole, Atlanta Herald. I've been waiting 18 months for a case like yours. Miriam Cole, investigative journalist, 44 years old. Awards on her wall that she never mentions. Sources in every county courthouse in Georgia, the kind of reporter who makes powerful people nervous. I've been tracking Harlan County complaints for a year and a half, she says. I have documents you need to see. They meet, off the record. A coffee shop in Atlanta where lawyers negotiate settlements and journalists meet sources. Nobody recognizes anyone here. That's the point. Miriam slides a folder across the table. Thick, heavy, the weight of evidence. FOIA requests, internal memos, complaint database printouts, documents that took 18 months to obtain, doors that kept closing, records that kept disappearing. 23 complaints against Russell Grady since 2012. Kendra opens the folder. Page after page. Different names, different dates. Same story repeating like a broken record. Pretextual stops. Black drivers, rural highways, broken taillights that worked perfectly, orders to exit the vehicle, hands on hoods, knees on gravel. Same phrases in complaint after complaint. Stay down. You people. Girl. You're kind. Same outcome every time. Complaint dismissed. Insufficient evidence. 23 complaints. 11 years. 0 sustained findings. 0 consequences. Who reviewed these complaints? Kendra asks. She already knows the answer, but she needs to hear it. Sheriff's Office, Internal Affairs Division, final sign-off by Sheriff Dawson himself. Miriam turns to another page, an internal memo dated March 2022. Election year, the kind of document that should never have been created, the kind that someone should have shredded. Grady complaints, handle quietly, minimize publicity, election year, Chief Deputy Morrison. The CC line reads, Sheriff Earl Dawson. He knew, Kendra says. Not a question. A statement. A verdict. For 11 years, every complaint crossed his desk. He signed every dismissal, every single one. Kendra's jaw tightens. Her fingers press against the paper. There's more. Miriam pulls out another set of documents, interview transcripts, recorded statements. I talked to former victims. 2 are willing to go on record. Names, faces, on camera. Derek Williams, 41 years old, high school basketball coach, father of 2 daughters. Stopped in 2019 on Highway 12. Same stretch of road, same deputy, same broken taillight. His statement, he made me get out of the car, put my hands on the hood, then told me to get on my knees, called me boy. I'm a grown man. I coach teenagers. I teach them respect. And this deputy called me boy like I was nothing. Derek filed a complaint. Called to check on it 6 months later. They told me the investigation was closed. Insufficient evidence. My word against his. That's all they said. Denise Crawford, 39 years old, nurse at Harlan County General Hospital, stopped in 2021. Same story, same deputy, same fabricated violation, same humiliation. Her statement, I thought I was the only one. For 2 years I thought maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I should have been more polite. Maybe I should have smiled more. Now I know. I wasn't wrong, I was just convenient. Kendra closes the folder. Her hands are steady. Her voice is not. 23 people, 23 complaints, and not one of them got justice. 24, Miriam corrects quietly. Counting you. Silence settles over the table. The weight of numbers. Kendra notices something in the files. One complaint from 2012 has pages missing. The personnel history section. Torn out, redacted, empty space where information should be. Someone removed his background, Miriam says. His employment history before Harlan County. I've been trying to find out why. What are they hiding? Kendra knows she can't prosecute Grady directly. Conflict of interest. She's the victim. The case will go to a special prosecutor. But the system, the cover-up, the 11 years of buried complaints, the signature on every dismissal, that's her jurisdiction. I'm referring Grady's criminal case to Special Prosecutor Angela Morrison, she says. No relation to the chief deputy. But Sheriff Dawson? The department? The pattern of abuse? She looks at Miriam. That's mine. The journalist nods. What do you need from me? Keep digging. Find out why those pages are missing. Find out what happened before Harlan County. Find out what Earl Dawson knew and when he knew it. Miriam gathers her files, stands to leave, then pauses. Attorney General Turner? They're going to fight back. The union, the sheriff, the county commissioners, the political machine. They're going to come after you. I know. Are you ready for that? Kendra thinks about her father. James Turner. 1989. On his knees on a Georgia highway, hands shaking for 30 years, silent for 30 years, carrying that night like a wound that never healed. I've been ready my whole life. Re-engagement point. 23 victims, 11 years of silence. One man knew about all of them and signed every dismissal. If that makes you angry, drop a comment. You're not alone. Sheriff Earl Dawson doesn't know it yet, but he's about to become the story. Sheriff Earl Dawson holds a press conference 4 days after the video goes viral. He stands behind a podium at the Harlan County Courthouse. American flag on his left, Georgia flag on his right, both flags freshly pressed, both positioned for the cameras. 3 terms in office, 30 years in law enforcement, the face of authority in this county, the man who decides what justice looks like. He reads from prepared remarks. His voice is steady, practiced, the voice of a man who has given many speeches, who has survived many storms. Deputy Grady was a rogue officer. His actions were isolated and do not reflect the values of this department. He pauses, looks at the cameras, the expression of a concerned leader. We took swift action. His immediate termination proves our commitment to accountability. The men and women of the Harlan County Sheriff's Department serve with honor and integrity. We will not let one bad actor define our legacy. He does not mention 23 complaints. He does not mention his signature on every dismissal. He does not mention the memo that said, "Handle quietly." He does not mention the pages torn from Grady's personnel file. He does not take questions. The reporters shout as he walks away. Sheriff, what about the other complaints? Sheriff, did you know about Grady's history? Sheriff! He keeps walking. The door closes behind him. The flags stand alone at the podium. The spin begins immediately. Political operatives work the phones. Anonymous sources feed stories to sympathetic outlets. Background quotes appear in articles. AG playing politics. Turner has history of anti-police bias. She's using this incident for her re-election campaign. Personal vendetta dressed up as justice. Op-eds appear in conservative media. Activist AG exploits traffic stop for headlines. Turner's war on law enforcement. The real victim is the badge. The deputies' union issues a formal statement, carefully worded, legally vetted. Deputy Grady was a single bad actor who does not represent the honorable men and women of law enforcement. The rush to judgment by certain political figures serves no one. We urge the public to allow the process to work before drawing conclusions. They threaten defamation lawsuits against any media outlet that implies systemic issues. Their lawyers send letters. Their lobbyists make calls. Sheriff Dawson's personal attorney sends a cease and desist letter to the Atlanta Herald. 3 pages. Legal threats dressed in formal language. Any further publication of unfounded accusations will result in immediate litigation. My client reserves all legal rights. Then the threats turn personal. Miriam Cole finds a note under her apartment door. No return address. No signature. Block letters cut from newspaper headlines like a ransom note. Drop the story. Last warning. She photographs it, files a police report, keeps working. 2 days later, her apartment is broken into. The lock is picked cleanly. Professional work. She comes home to find her door slightly open. Her heart pounds as she walks through the rooms. Nothing is taken. Laptop on the desk, jewelry in the drawer, cash in the nightstand. The message is clear. We can reach you. We can touch your things. We can enter your life whenever we want. She starts varying her route home, parks in different spots, checks her mirrors more often than she used to, looks over her shoulder in grocery stores. Her editor receives calls from concerned advertisers, major accounts threatening to pull funding from the Herald. Maybe we should ease back on this story, he suggests carefully. Let things cool down. When things cool down, they disappear, Miriam replies. That's exactly what they're counting on. The attacks on Kendra are more sophisticated, more political, less obvious. A formal complaint is filed against the Attorney General's office. Prosecutorial overreach, conflict of interest, using state resources for personal vendettas. Her chief of staff, Patricia, urges caution. You got his badge. That's a win. A real win. Why make more enemies? Her senior advisor agrees. Sheriff Dawson has friends in the state legislature. The union has lobbyists on retainer. The county commissioners play golf with the governor's staff. This could get very ugly very fast. Kendra looks at them both. 23 people filed complaints. 23 people told the truth about what happened to them. And they were ignored. They were dismissed. They were told their experiences didn't matter. She stands, walks to the window, looks out at Atlanta. I am not going to be number 24 who stays quiet. The counterattack continues. A county commissioner goes on local radio. The AG is overstepping her bounds. This is a county matter. We have processes. We have procedures. We don't need Atlanta telling us how to run our business. Sheriff Dawson himself, in a private call with a state senator, later revealed in testimony, says, she thinks she's untouchable because of what happened to her. Let's remind her that nobody is untouchable. But while Dawson fights the fire in front of him, he's forgotten about what's behind him. The sealed file. Miriam's source comes through. A clerk in Colton County. A different jurisdiction. A different time. There's a file on Grady, from before Harlan County, from 2011, sealed as part of a settlement. What's in it? He was fired. Same thing. Excessive force. Traffic stop. Sound familiar? And Sheriff Dawson? Long pause. Dawson knew. He hired Grady 4 months after Colton let him go. He knew exactly who he was getting. 2:17 a.m. Kendra sits at her kitchen table, files spread everywhere. Cold coffee in a mug she stopped drinking hours ago. The house is dark except for the lamp over the table. Her phone buzzes. Another notification. Another op-ed calling her activist AG. Another anonymous comment telling her to stay in her place. To know her place. She turns the phone face down. The house is quiet. Too quiet. She lives alone now. Has for years. Darlene has her own apartment across town. Her own life. Her own future. The rooms feel bigger at 2 a.m. The shadows feel longer. The silence feels heavier. Her political allies are going quiet. Phone calls not returned. Meetings postponed indefinitely. Lunches canceled with vague excuses. Nobody wants to stand next to a target. Nobody wants to fight a sheriff's union. The weight of it presses down. The isolation. The exhaustion. The feeling that maybe Maybe. She's fighting a war she cannot win. Then her phone rings. Not a notification. An actual call. Darlene. At 2 a.m. That's never good. Mom! Her daughter's voice is wrong, shaking, scared. Mom, someone left something on my car. Kendra's blood goes cold. Every nerve fires at once. What? What is it? A note. On my windshield. It says... Her voice breaks. It says, your mother should learn when to stay quiet. Silence. The world stops. Darlene, where are you right now? Parking garage. My apartment building. I just got home from the library. Don't go to your apartment. Don't go anywhere. Get in your car. Drive here. Right now. Don't stop for anything. Mom, I'm scared. I know, baby, I know. Just come here. Keep your doors locked. Call me if anything seems wrong. I'll stay on the phone until you get here. She doesn't hang up. Neither does Darlene. 30 minutes of breathing, of waiting, of fear. The sound of tires on her driveway, the sound of her daughter's footsteps, the sound of the door opening. They sit together on the couch. Security detail has been called. An officer will stay outside the building tonight. Tomorrow there will be more. Official protection. Mom! Darlene looks at her, eyes red, cheeks wet. Is this worth it? Is this worth our safety? Our lives? The question hangs in the air. The question Kendra has been asking herself at 2 a.m., at 3 a.m., every night since the video went viral. She looks at the photograph on the end table. Her father, James Turner, gray suit, warm eyes, the man who taught her to check her mirrors. She remembers, 1989. She was 16. Her father came home late one night, later than usual. His hands were shaking. His keys rattled against the door. He wouldn't say what happened. Not that night, not for weeks, not for years. She learned the truth from her mother, piece by piece, whispered conversations she wasn't supposed to hear. Traffic stop, rural Georgia highway, different county, different decade. Same story. A deputy with his gun drawn, her father, James Turner, high school principal, man who never broke a law in his life, on his knees on the side of the road, gravel under his knees, lights flashing in his eyes. He never filed a complaint, never told anyone except her mother, never drove that highway again for the rest of his life. Mama always said it broke something in him, Kendra whispers now. He checked his mirrors obsessively after that, flinched at sirens, changed his route to work to avoid that highway. Her voice catches. He died in 2015. Never saw justice. Never even asked for it. Carried that night for 30 years, like a stone in his chest. She looks at Darlene. Your grandfather spent 30 years in silence. 30 years swallowing what happened to him. Because he didn't have 3 words. Because he didn't have a camera. Because he didn't have a witness. Her voice steadies. I have all of that. I have evidence. I have power. I have a platform that he never had. But they're threatening us. They're threatening me. I know. And I am so sorry. I am so sorry you're in this. Pause. Long, heavy. But if I stop now, they win. Dawson wins. And 23 families keep carrying what your grandfather carried. Darlene doesn't answer. Kendra whispers, so yes, it's worth it. Later, after Darlene falls asleep on the couch, Kendra sits alone. The files are still there. Her father's photograph watches from the end table. She whispers into the darkness, Dad, I hope I'm strong enough. This is where most people stop, where the system wins by exhaustion, where the threats work. She's not most people. By morning, she has a plan, and it starts with a sealed file. Miriam Cole publishes despite everything. The threats, the break-in, the lawyers, the warning notes. She publishes anyway. Front page of the Atlanta Herald. Pattern of abuse, 23 complaints, 0 consequences in Harlan County. The story names no confidential sources, uses only documents obtained through official channels, FOIA requests, public records, government paper with government stamps. It cannot be called defamation, because it is true. Every word. The internet does what the internet does. The story spreads. Shares multiply exponentially. Comments flood in by the thousands. Then the victims find each other. Derek Williams sees the headline, reads his own complaint number buried in paragraph 6, recognizes his own story told in statistics. He picks up his phone. I'm willing to go on record, use my name, show my face. I'm done being a number. I'm done being invisible. Denise Crawford does the same. Then another victim calls. Then another. Then another. People who never knew each other. People who lived with the same shame. The same silence. The same question. Was it my fault? They find each other. They realize it wasn't. 12 families issue a joint statement. 12 people who filed complaints. 12 people who were dismissed. We were ignored. We were called liars. We were told our experiences didn't matter. We were told to move on, to forget, to stay quiet. We stand with Attorney General Turner. We demand accountability. Faces appear on camera for the first time. Names and stories. Real people. Derek Williams in his coaching jacket. Denise Crawford in her nursing scrubs. Regular people who were treated like criminals on the side of a road. Pastor Leonard Hayes of First Baptist Church organizes a community meeting. He reserves the fellowship hall. Expects maybe 50 people. 400 show up. Standing room only. Spilling into the parking lot. Streaming on phones for those who couldn't fit inside. We've been telling this story for generations, he says from the pulpit. Our fathers told it. Our grandfathers told it. And for generations, we were told to be quiet, to be patient, to wait for change that never came. He pauses, looks out at the crowd. Someone is finally listening. Let's make sure they hear us. National coverage explodes like a dam breaking. CNN. Pattern of abuse in Georgia Sheriff's Department. MSNBC. AG takes on her own law enforcement. Local affiliates across the country pick up the story. Hashtag Highway 12 trends nationally for 5 days straight. Governor Margaret Ellis makes a statement, carefully worded, politically calculated, but public. I have full confidence in Attorney General Turner's integrity. No one is above accountability. County commissioners call an emergency session. Words like review and oversight and independent investigation start appearing in official statements. Politicians who defended Dawson last week now distance themselves. The wind is shifting. And then, the sealed file. Miriam's source was right. Colton County, 2011. Russell Grady. Terminated for excessive force. Same pattern. Same brutality. The record was sealed as part of a legal settlement. Grady agreed to resign quietly. The county agreed not to prosecute. Everyone agreed to pretend it never happened. He should have been unhireable. Any law enforcement agency that ran a proper background check would have found red flags waving like warnings. But Harlan County either didn't check or didn't care. 4 months after Colton County let him go, Sheriff Earl Dawson hired Russell Grady personally. Kendra petitions the court to unseal the file. Public interest exception. 23 victims, 24, deserve the truth. Dawson's lawyers fight viciously. Irrelevant, prejudicial, sealed for a reason, ancient history. The judge sets a hearing, 7 days. The file will either end Dawson or save him, Miriam tells Kendra. Kendra stares at the courthouse in the distance, the building where justice is supposed to live. It won't save him. The judge rules in Kendra's favor. The public interest in accountability outweighs privacy concerns in this matter. The file will be unsealed. The decision comes down at 9:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. By 10:15 a.m., the contents are being reviewed by investigators. By noon, the story is everywhere. Russell Grady, Colton County Sheriff's Department, hired January 2009, terminated August 2011. Reason for termination: excessive force during traffic stop, pattern of pretextual stops targeting minority drivers, settlement reached to avoid civil litigation. The details are familiar. Terrifyingly familiar, like reading the same story written by a different hand. A black man pulled over for a defective brake light. The brake light worked perfectly. Orders to exit the vehicle. Hands on the hood. Then the demand to kneel. The man resisted. Russell Grady broke 3 of his ribs, fractured his eye socket. The settlement cost Colton County $340,000. The file was sealed to protect everyone involved. Grady walked away. No criminal charges. Clean record. Free to start over somewhere new. Somewhere that wouldn't ask questions. 4 months later, he applied to Harlan County Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Earl Dawson reviewed his application personally. His signature is on the hiring documents. The email chain is the kill shot. Subpoenaed communications between the 2 county sheriffs. August 2011. 12 years ago, but preserved in digital amber. Dawson to Colton County Sheriff. Heard you let Grady go. He's applied here. Any baggage I should know about? Response: some. Manageable. He's aggressive, but he's effective. Gets results, clears cases, makes numbers. Dawson's reply: 4 words. Just like Kendra's 3 words. But with opposite meaning. Opposite consequence. Good enough for me. He knew. He knew exactly who Russell Grady was, what he had done, what he was capable of doing again, what he would do again. He hired him anyway, because Grady was effective, because Grady got results, because in Harlan County, production mattered more than protection. Numbers mattered more than people. 23 complaints in 11 years. 23 people who told the truth about what happened to them. 23 dismissals signed by Sheriff Earl Dawson. He knew who he was protecting. He knew who he was unleashing. This wasn't negligence. This wasn't oversight. This wasn't a failure of process. This was policy. The State Bureau of Investigation expands its probe immediately. Sheriff Dawson is now a target, not a witness. Subject, not observer. Civil Rights Division notified. Federal interest flagged. The words pattern or practice appear in legal filings. The Department of Justice opens a preliminary inquiry. Dawson's world collapses in hours. His allies abandon him publicly. The same county commissioners who defended him 2 weeks ago now call for his immediate resignation. His lawyer issues a statement. No comment at this time. The silence of a sinking ship. His office goes dark. Staff stop showing up. Phones ring unanswered. The parking lot empties. The building that housed his power for 30 years feels suddenly hollow. Kendra Turner holds no press conference, issues no victory statement, gives no interviews. A written release. 4 sentences. Nothing more. The evidence speaks for itself. The sealed file reveals that Sheriff Dawson knowingly hired a deputy with a documented history of abuse. He then protected that deputy for 11 years while 23 citizens were victimized. We look forward to the grand jury's review of all evidence. That's all. She doesn't need to say more. The emails say everything. Good enough for me. 4 words that hired a predator. 4 words that enabled 11 years of abuse. 4 words that will end a career. The grand jury convenes in 5 days. Sheriff Earl Dawson will not be watching from the sidelines. He will be answering questions under oath. The grand jury convenes in the state courthouse. Room 4B. No cameras allowed. No public gallery. Special Prosecutor Angela Morrison presents the case. 48 years old. Former federal prosecutor. The kind of lawyer who never raises her voice because she doesn't need to. She presents the evidence. Methodical. Devastating. Body camera footage from Highway 12. The words, "Stay down, girl," echo in the closed room. 23 complaint files, 23 dismissals, same signature on each one. The internal memo. Handle quietly. Election year. The sealed file from Colton County. The settlement, the pattern, and the emails. Good enough for me, Kendra Turner testifies. Not as Attorney General, as victim, as witness. She is recused from the prosecution. She sits in the witness chair like anyone else. No title, no power, just a woman telling the truth. He told me to get on my knees. He kicked my leg. I fell. Her voice is steady, matter of fact, no emotion. He called me girl. He said, "You people." I identified myself as the Attorney General. He didn't believe me. His supervisor arrived. My identity was confirmed. He was terminated on scene. Questions follow. She answers each one the same way. Facts, dates, times, no embellishment. Her testimony is devastating because it's quiet. The grand jury deliberates for 6 hours, longer than expected. Some worry. Then the foreperson emerges. Indictment. Sheriff Earl Dawson is charged with official misconduct, obstruction of justice, civil rights conspiracy. He faces up to 20 years. His 11-year deputy, his cover-ups, his emails, his silence, all of it, weighed and measured and found criminal. Hours before the indictment is announced, Dawson submits his resignation. The letter is 3 sentences. I have decided to step down from my position as Sheriff of Harlan County. I wish to spend time with my family. I am grateful for the opportunity to serve. No admission, no apology, no acknowledgement of 23 victims, no mention of the woman he allowed to be humiliated on Highway 12. His attorney issues a statement. Sheriff Dawson maintains confidence in his decades of honorable service. He looks forward to clearing his name in court. He will not clear his name. Russell Grady faces separate charges: civil rights violation, assault under color of law, up to 10 years. His trial is pending. 2 men, 2 badges, 2 careers, ended. Kendra Turner holds no victory press conference, no celebration, no interviews. She issues a written statement, 1 paragraph. Today, the system held itself accountable. My hope is that it continues to do so. For every victim who was told their voice didn't matter. For every complaint that was dismissed. For every person who knelt on the side of a road and was told to stay down. She doesn't mention herself. She doesn't need to. 3 words ended Russell Grady's career on Highway 12. The truth ended Earl Dawson's empire in a courtroom. Sometimes the system works, when someone forces it to. 6 months later, the Georgia State Legislature passes the Highway 12 Act. Mandatory body camera activation during all traffic stops. Independent review board for citizen complaints. Transparent hiring records. No more sealed files hiding predators. 23 families attend the signing ceremony. They stand behind the governor as she puts pen to paper. Derek Williams is there. Denise Crawford is there. They're not invisible anymore. Russell Grady awaits trial. Earl Dawson awaits trial. Neither wears a badge. Neither holds power. Kendra Turner's phone buzzes. Darlene. Mom? I've been thinking. I want to apply to law school. Kendra smiles. I might know a few people who can help. The cycle continues, but this time toward justice. That evening, Kendra drives Highway 12. Same stretch, same pine trees, same evening light. The cicadas sing their summer song. No blue lights appear, just the road, just the trees, just Georgia. She checks her rearview mirror. Habit. Her father's voice. Her taillights glow red. Both working. Perfect. Just like they always were. 3 words didn't just end a career. They started a reckoning. For 23 families. For one father who never got justice. For every Highway 12 still waiting for someone to speak. If this story moved you, if you've ever waited for karma and finally seen it, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. Because there are more Highway 12s out there, and some of them are still waiting for 3 words.